Hey friends, Jared here with another review from Fanboys Forever, and today it is my absolute pleasure to take a look at the new Hascon exclusive, would have been SDCC exclusive if the world hadn't went crazy in 2020, Marvel Legends series Logan 2-pack with Professor Xavier. And this has been a long time coming, hasn't it? I mean, whenever Logan first came out, I dreamed of there being some figures to accompany the movie. As a matter of fact, previous videos you could see that I even concocted some of my own 6-scale figures from different companies' pieces and customized different outfits and things on them. But it is so great to finally get an official product, and from all people of Hasbro. And it's something that the right situation with the Fox characters had prevented for a long time. So I'm so happy to see it get cleared up, and by cleared up we mean Disney buys everything. We could go on and on all day about how much we love Logan, but hey, everybody loves Logan. So let's have a look. So I'm not a mint and box guy at all. That's not the type of collector I am. I open everything. Even when I was a kid, I couldn't believe that my mom, who collected Barbies, I couldn't believe that she could just leave them in the packaging. So I'm definitely not a mint and box person, but I love this packaging. If you are a mint and box person, then this packaging is incredible. And if you're not a mint and box person, then you'll have a hard time throwing away this packaging. You have this absolutely lovely, I'm not sure if it's chalk or what, art of Professor Xavier and Logan himself. And I'll tell you, it's so good that I almost wish this was the poster for the film. I'm serious. I feel like this would have been a better poster for the movie. So whoever did this, and I wish that there was credit on the box, I really do, kudos to you. I can tell you really love the movie as much as the fans did, and this is just fantastic. Moving on, we'll look at the sides here. We have a cool shot of Logan himself. There he is. Very nice. And this goes with the other packaging that we've been getting for their Fox X-Men series, where the faces are kind of blackened out, which is an interesting thing. Maybe they don't have the rights to show actor likenesses on packaging. I don't know. That's probably silly. But and then here we have Professor Xavier on the other side. At the bottom, we just have Marvel Legends. And at the top, we have Marvel Legends again. So you can take this slipcover off, and you get a double package artwork right here of both characters, kind of like a double bill. He's Marvel's Logan, thanks to copyright. That's his full name, Marvel's. It's like Marvin Logan. Does that sound right? Here we have Logan, Charles Xavier right here, and that's of course where they were. And they look really nice in the packaging. If you keep it in the packaging, I can't say that I would blame you, but hopefully the rest of this review will prove to you that maybe you shouldn't. So that's enough about the packaging. That's twice as much time as I usually spend talking about this stuff, so let's get on to it. And if it's all the same to you, I believe I'll be keeping the box in the background, so we can continue to see that. Let's look at each figure individually. First off, I do want to have a look at Logan. It is the titular character of the film, so we definitely do want to give Logan his due right here. I'm going to start out with the Screaming Head, because I like the Screaming Head best, and I feel like it best shows the likeness. They're clearly doing some sort of digital sculpting here that looks terrific, and whatever it is that they're doing is right on the money. I really like this. I don't know if it's a digital scan of Hugh Jackman's head or not. I suppose that's a great compliment if it is sculpted, but I think this is just superlative. The paint application, there's so many different deco things going on with the head sculpt here, from all the different blood and the eyes and the teeth and the beard. And this is one of their most complicated deco, I think, combinations, masks, whatever you want to say, that they've ever done for one of their faces. So good for them. I think this was probably a complicated job to get this just right. And I hope they know how much fans really appreciate this level of work and effort that goes into a head like this one. Even the teeth being individually painted, looking better than, say, some of the more premium products that we see, like from Mezco. That's a better paint job on the teeth and the mouth than what we see with those nearly $100 figures. So good for them. The same with the hair. This is an incredible deco for the hair here, because they get it just right. And usually these 6-scale figures of Logan, the unofficial ones, that are supposed to be so detailed, and they are very expensive, don't usually get the hair this right. Usually they just paint it brown and they just go on. Here we actually see that they have the kind of grayish blonde brushed in. And to me, that's huge because a whole lot of companies, third-party companies, but still neglected that. Same with the beard. And you can see that there's actual beard deco going on to the face. And you can see that they have that right there. And I believe that's that digital print technology coming through. Those are the kinds of deco hits we wouldn't have seen years ago. It just wouldn't have been possible. Same thing for the eyes. They're very, very well aligned. That's not always the case. As a matter of fact, lately, you know, they do struggle with that on some of their figures, but not here. This is actually a very, very nice accomplishment for them, and I think it works out beautifully. Moving on, everything else is a little more basic in terms of sculpting. We have this just dress shirt kind of body. We have the coat, we have the arms, there's the back there. Everything is very accurate to the film, mind you, but it's just not as spectacular as the head sculpt. Here we have Wolverine's boots or dress shoes, whatever you want to say. Of course, this is Wolverine's limo driver outfit, so it's definitely you know, a little more mundane. But of course, this is where some of the this is the outfit that some of the very best moments of the movie take place in. So it's hard to deny how awesome that it is to get him in this costume, particularly. The one remarkable thing, I guess, are the claws. And they are very similar to what we've gotten before. I suppose they're probably the same claws that we have gotten, the same hands for these new Wolverine movie figures. I like how straight the claws are. These are the blood claws that you get. And I had that one out a little bit. I suppose they are removable. You know, whenever you remove these things, there's those big gaping holes. So it's nice that they do it, but it is kind of funny. The blood splattering is really, really good on these guys. Usually, it's quite a funny thing to say, isn't it? But they really got it just right. You see that in there? That is nice. So I do commend them for that. I suppose there should have been a little blood on the knuckles, though. However, it's nothing that a little paint won't fix, but it's probably not the kind of figure I'd want to mess with. There at the bottom, nothing really on the shoes. So yeah, overall, I think the sculpting is very nice. Let's go ahead and get the other head on. The thing is, the heads are very, very easy to switch out. And you can see that we have some hidden deco right under here. You can see that we have his neck beard. We have some of the hair here. That's something I never thought they would go to the trouble of doing. So I'm actually really, really fond of that little detail. Here we have the more standard head. Yeah, there we go. Takes a little bit of oomph to get that on there, actually. I like this one almost as much as the Screaming head. It's very consistent. I like the expression. Definitely the likeness probably isn't quite as strong as the Screaming head is, which I feel the opposite about the standard Wolverines, Hugh Jackman Wolverines that we've got in the line. I still really like it a lot, but I feel like this expression is a little more Hugh Jackman, I suppose, to me. But this really does still look terrific. I think they definitely went with the right expression for the figure. He certainly doesn't look happy, so I think that's correct. I believe there's a little bit too much beard right there under the lip and a little too little over here. Probably something that I'll fix with a little bit of maybe some rubbing alcohol or something to minimize some of that. But, you know, I definitely want to show you how it comes out of the packaging. The hair is just as consistent as the previous head. The battle damage isn't quite as extreme, which is appreciated because this should be a little more extreme if he's in the thick of combat, and this version isn't. So I really do like what they did, though. Really nice. And there it is from the back. Wolverine also comes with these clean claws, and they look really good, and they're very straight. I do appreciate how straight the claws are these days on Wolverine releases. Wolverine also comes with some really nice hands that are just meant for him, I suppose, to grab the handles of the wheelchair so he can push Professor X. Let's have a look at his articulation and see what all he can do. So, we have a head that is just on a ball joint. There's no hinge, so that's a little disappointing. If there was a hinge, maybe he could go a little crazier. So he can look about that far down. He can look about that far up. With a hinge, it would have been a little more nuts. We have a kind of a side to side, so you can get plenty of kind of head cocking. So really, it's fine. Of course, it goes all the way around. All right. On our abdomen joint, he can go way down. I actually think that's a really effective joint. He can't go back very much, but why would you? So to get those kinds of feral poses, it can go forward quite a bit. And, then it's just a matter of how far back can you arch the head. So not quite far enough, really, for it to go that far out. At the shoulders, we can go up just at about 90 degrees there. Of course, we can go all the way around. Don't believe there's any kind of butterfly joint or anything like that. We can also turn the bicep all the way around. We can also take it all the way around this way. And we have a double jointed elbow, so you can get pretty good. The sculpt of the coat's a little thicker though, than say just a spandexed superhero arm, so that's about as good as you can do, but that's about as good as you need, honestly. Then over here we have a hinge right here at the wrist, and of course all the hands are hinged that you get, all the different multiples. And of course the wrist can go all the way around. They seem to be in there pretty well. We do have a cut down here at the waist, so that's no problem, and it doesn't look weird as you turn it, so that's nice that it's kind of circled with that. We also get a hip there that goes up about that much, and we have knees that go in that much. They are double jointed, so that's nice. We do have a rotation there at the upper thigh. Wolverine can do the splits. He is just limited by his coat that pushes the legs down a little bit. Surely you don't need any more splits than that with your Hugh Jackman Wolverine. We do have a hinge there at the ankle. It's very effective. We have plenty of ankle rocker movement, and the pants are kind of up off of the feet for that reason. And we can get as crazy a pose as you want, and Wolverine can pretty well stand. He's a very well balanced figure. So overall, with articulation, there is nothing to complain about with this Logan figure. They took practically every opportunity they could. There's really no surprises with the articulation. The only thing I guess I would have wanted is maybe a neck hinge to have gotten the head and some more of those extreme kind of arched back and arched forward positions. But overall, I gotta say, great job. Next up, let's look at Charles Xavier. And here he is. He is reflective of the look that he had around the beginning of the film. I really have to talk about the positive elephant in the room here. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? This head sculpt is the most terrific Sir Patrick Stewart head sculpt that has ever, I think, been done in any sort of merchandise. And being a Star Trek fan, I've owned plenty of Sir Patrick Stewart likenesses over the years. And this one, this is a whole new level. I'm convinced it's some sort of facial scan. If it's not, I don't know how you did it. They got his kind of unique head shape just right. His eyes, which have a very interesting shape to them, and the nose are all as close as I think you could possibly be without, owning a little Patrick Stewart in your house. So I love the Hugh Jackman likeness on the Logan, but it's funny, this is to another level. If that Hugh Jackman likeness is an 8.5, this is a 10. As a matter of fact, I'm willing to just go there and say that this is the best likeness that Hasbro has ever done for any figure, and I mean that. I hope it's coming across on camera. You even have age spots there at the top of that. I hope it comes across on camera the way that I'm seeing it in hand. This is a whole nother level of excellence, and I applaud them. I'm not sure that they could have done any better than what we're seeing right before us, so kudos to them. On the back of the head, we see that we also have kind of the scraggly hair that's in the movie. There's not a lot of variance with that, so it definitely looks better forward. I'll take him out of the wheelchair so that we can get a better look at everything. We also have a neat little pattern on the shirt, and there's nothing really going on paint-wise with the kind of hoodie that he has on over it. With the legs, it's just very basic stuff that we've seen before out of Hasbro, just reuse sculpting. I believe he and Logan have very similar, if not the same, shoes on, so maybe they have both, they've been living together so long, they're both going to the same shoe store. There's the back of the coat, really nothing to see. We'll also have a quick look at the wheelchair itself. This seems very accurate to me from what we see in the film. It's done with that kind of pearlescent plastic that's meant to simulate silver. Of course, on close inspection, it probably doesn't hold up to the absolute most scrutiny or anything, but I think it's fine for what it is. We have the wheelchair tires here, and this does have a little bit of a rubbery quality to it on the sides, so that's going to make it stick a little bit better. The wheels are movable, so I like that. I like how there's a little X right there in the front. I'm not sure if that's just something you would see on any wheelchair or what, or if it's something that was made specifically for this one, but I think this is a nice little piece. And of course he sets in there, no problem. I suppose it might be a little silly to focus on Professor Xavier's articulation. It's not like you're going to have Professor Xavier running around or anything like that unless he was in the astral plane, and it didn't really happen in the movie. But there's plenty of great articulation. He does have a fine head joint here who does actually get a neck hinge. Now, why they could give that to Professor Xavier and not give that to Logan, I have no idea. Because you can get all the articulation I was hoping for with Logan out of Professor Xavier's head. So I'm not really sure why that is, but it's nice that you get it with Professor X because, you know, he's limited in other ways, but Professor Xavier hopefully will have lots of head range so that you can get more of those dramatic moments. So I suppose it is necessary for him to have that. We also get plenty of articulation at the arm. He can go up a little bit higher than Logan's arm can. We can bring it all the way around, of course. He does have a cut right there at the upper part of his arm, right under the shoulder, and we do have a double jointed elbow. And of course we have hinges on the hands. We do have a hinge there, kind of a diaphragm hinge. There's not really much to do here. The coat kind of keeps it from doing too much, so there's not much to write home about. We do have a full rotation here, and that's pretty much the only articulation that you would have, I suppose, Professor Xavier use in any of your posing. But, you know, if you want to say he's on the astral plane or something, we'll just go to the legs here. You can do the splits about that much. You can bring the legs up about that much. And this is all useful, of course, for setting in the wheelchair so that you can get him kind of snug to the chair. There's double joints on the knees, and they can go about that far. And, of course, he does have a rotation there at the upper thigh. And he has a full tilt range down here with a hinge that allows the ankles to do basically whatever you need it to. So we'll put him back in his wheelchair here. You're able to do just about whatever you need to get him looking convincing into the chair. Of course, none of this works if you can't get the look to be pretty natural with him sitting in the chair. So I think that's really important, and I'm glad that it looks as good as it does. The wheelchair is sculpted right to accommodate the body, so I think it looks nice from about any angle you put it at. It doesn't look like the wheelchair is too big or too small, and that is an important part of a Professor Xavier figure. And here's just a look at Professor Xavier in the wheelchair and showing that yes, you can have Logan grasp the handles on the back of the wheelchair, and it does end up looking very convincing and nice. I think in any sort of display, this would look very good. I think you could get lots of cool stuff with this. You can also, this just makes me emotional just talking about this. Because the movie, man, I don't know. If you've seen Logan, you know what I'm talking about. It's not the easiest thing to do, but you can get Professor Xavier in Wolverine's arms. Of course, you know, he does have to kind of carry him around in some parts of the movie. So if you try to go any lower than this to make it look a little more natural, he's going to lose grip on the back. So there's not a whole lot you can do. You do kind of have to hold him a little bit higher because it's not going to work any other way. But I just thought that was kind of an important thing for us to at least touch on. A couple little extra tidbits is we want to bring in some of the other 20th Century Fox X-Men movie figures that Marvel Legends has done. And we'll just see if the Logans match up with each other in height. And yes, it's a pretty good match in terms of scale. Wolverine looks a little smaller, Logan looks a little smaller, I should say, than the Wolverine figure right here. Probably because of some reused parts in the body, but it's also worth noting that he should look a little smaller and a little more anemic because of his state in the movie. So really, I think that actually makes some good sense. Just to see, I have no idea actually, but we'll see if the heads are indeed switchable. So if you want to have a younger looking Wolverine, it works pretty well, yeah. Kind of giving me some vibes from the Wolverine when he's at the funeral. It's not a perfect fit, but it's on there pretty well and it's not coming off, so I actually think that looks all right. And I think more interestingly, people are going to want to know if you can get this head on here to recreate some of the ending scenes of Logan. And it's a little bit tougher to get that one on. But honestly, yeah, we'll take the necklace off because he doesn't have that in the movie. It looks pretty good. Yeah, I think the neck might be a little thick, so you got to watch how you pose it on there. But yeah, that actually looks pretty solid, I have to say. Even if he's a little more clean shaven at this point, and Logan, it works pretty well if you just want kind of a quick and dirty head swap to kind of get that look from the scene. So I think that's pretty nice. Here we have something that I suppose should never happen. The most serious X-Men Fox film with the least serious. And I think the heights look really nice here, and this is just funny. I think that I've chosen the right head for Hugh Jackman so that he can be irritated by Ryan Reynolds till the day he dies. And here we have the most super duper bestest comparison ever. We have Professor Xavier and Professor Xavier. The reason why this isn't a great comparison is because I've not opened it yet. Just got it in today, so be on the lookout for that review. I think it'll be great when we see Marvel do their own thing with the X-Men. I certainly think it'll be nice to see them do maybe a more comic book inspired take. And of course, I think we'll probably see Wolverine in more of a superheroic light in those films. But one thing cannot be understated, and that's that there's maybe never been a better cinematic finale for a character. But this isn't a review of the movie. For that, you can check out our numerous videos, including a full-length commentary on the movie, because we were quite obsessed with it, and with good reason. We still are. Instead, this is a look at these figures, and the real question is, do these figures honor the legacy of that movie? And the answer is yes. I actually think this is a terrific set. It's a shame that it was a limited kind of concept, but it was available for quite a while, and especially if you were a Hasbro Pulse member. So I definitely think that the vast majority of people who were incredibly hyped to get it, like me, I think most of those people were able to do that, and I'm very thankful for that. At first they announced it and I thought, oh no, maybe this is going to be a really bad situation. Nobody's going to be hardly able to get this thing. No, it turned out it was pretty available for a day or two there, and I'm very thankful. I believe that they have definitely made the number of them to satisfy demand, and it's just so great to finally see them really living up to the potential of this movie. Us collectors, we're a greedy lot. And as soon as I saw this, I instantly thought about all the other things we need from the movie. I would really, really love to see, and Hasbro, this would be simple if you're listening. Guys, just give us something like this right here. And of course, have X-24 in there as a 2-pack. So maybe if you guys could do that for another con or something, that would be absolutely incredible. I would love to see something like that. Another idea is to get X-23, X-23, whatever you want to say, get Lara in there some way or another. And of course, Wolverine has numerous looks in the movie. There's the one where he's wearing the brown coat, and I think that would be an absolutely terrific version to do when he has the fight, when Professor Xavier is having the seizure. I think that would be an awesome, awesome look to have in a 2-pack of some sort. But guys, I'm so appreciative that you've taken the time to watch this review. I know that there are many other reviews, and you taking the time to watch this one means the world to us here at Fanboys Forever. So thank you so much for that. And of course, subscribing is the very best way that you can keep up with us. Of course, we post numerous videos every week, so we are very, very thankful for each and every sub that we get. So thank you so much to those who've already subbed, and we invite anyone else who would like to come along for the ride. Anyway, though, guys, that's it for me. And as always, be careful out there. God bless you all. And until next time, I'll see you on Fanboys Forever. Take care. That's not good.